Hello, and welcome to the second edition of AUP7 News. I'm Brandice Walker.
And I'm Erin Stranyak. While love is in the air, as Parisians recently celebrated Valentine's Day. But are AUP students looking for Cupid's arrow or avoiding it? AUP7's Ashley Pitson has the story.
Paris, synonymous with romance the world over. Many foreigners and French people alike have grown up with starry-eyed visions of the City of Lights via its portrayal in popular culture. People come to find love or celebrate it like these newlyweds from Marseille.
Paris is a wonderful city to just stroll with your loved one, to see, to meet people, go to dinner or a show, and just enjoy free time.
With a romantic scene at nearly every turn, it's no wonder love is a common daydream and philosophical musing here.
Paris is the city of love. It's the city of romance. Everywhere, every corner in this city and in this university is a story of love.
Love is a bridge, as it is inscribed here on Paris's Pont des Arts, where people come from all over the world, like Ivana and David, to lock their love. However, many AUP students have yet to find the key.
With over 10% of the student body responding to an anonymous survey conducted by AUP7, half of the students are single, 23% in a relationship, 15% in a long-distance relationship, 2% married, and the other 10% in more complicated situations. And when asked to describe the dating scene at the university, the most popular responses were not good, terrible, non-existent, and
Incestuous. You'll see people hooking up, and maybe the next week someone is hooking up from that hookup with someone else, and then the next week, it's like never-ending circle, sort of.
A global communications student who wrote a thesis on long-distance relationships described another reason for this incestuous feeling.
I think when you come from different places and you're into this environment, you almost become family.
With so many students living far from home, it is clear that communication with family is important. Mail clerk Jocelyn Diouf noted that most of the packages she receives are from students' parents, even on Valentine's Day. However, most communication with loved ones happens over the internet.
I found that the top 3 sites that were used in maintaining relationships was Facebook, Google for Gmail, and also Skype.
98% of students surveyed stated technology as important in their relationships. While love may not be obvious at AUP, it is streaming. I'm Ashley Pitson for AUP7 News.
Recently, Social Media Week hosted their biannual event in 9 cities, including Paris. AUP hosted several panel discussions, including one on social media in Egypt and Tunisia. AUP7's Brian Redondo has the story.
I have an SMS service from Le Monde, the newspaper Le Monde. And whenever there's an update, I get it on my screen. Talk about media, new media. And just a while ago, I got an update saying that Hosni Mubarak is on the verge of resigning tonight. Yay!
As events unfolded in Cairo Thursday night, a lively group gathered in the Grand Salon to discuss how social media impacted revolutions in Tunisia and Egypt. The panel discussion, called Hacktivists in the Bully States, attracted around 70 people who eagerly awaited the news as they were debating it. With the situation in Cairo developing in real time, the speed and power of modern technology in global affairs was on display. The panelists spoke of the immediacy and availability of information as an important factor in current events.
The Arab world can watch the world through satellite media, can watch anything. Many of the countries, many of the educated people follow news in 2, 3, 4 languages, and you get the kind of social media stuff being covered.
AUP Professor Matthew Fraser described how mainstream news gathers reports from social media, such as protest pictures on Twitter.
Social media really is almost like the correspondent on the ground. In the old days, it used to be the ABC correspondent in Cairo to give you the story, right? well, they're still there, and sometimes CNN has an interesting clip, but social media really serves that function.
Jalila Headley, an AUP student from Tunisia, was in Paris during the Tunisian Revolution. She said she supported the protesters in the streets by posting on Facebook to spread information and hoped to catch the attention of the media. The panel discussion was streamed live online for the world to see, and the night then ended with a live screening of Mubarak's speech. Online viewers watched the panel, then the panel watched the world. AUP graduate student Ted Liu said he wanted to see history happen that night.
Unfortunately, I think for democracy and for national self-determination, that unfortunately did not happen tonight.
An enthusiastic audience gathered here tonight in the Grand Salon to discuss the role of social media in recent revolutions in Tunisia and Egypt. They stayed long after the panel, hoping to witness history unfold before them, but they've just left, disappointed, as Mubarak pledged to remain in power. Yet, as protests are sweeping across the region, it's clear that information is spreading more quickly now than ever before. Brian Redondo, AUP7 News.
Thanks, Brian. AUP hosts many events such as Social Media Week in Bosquet's Grand Salon. However, this week, AUP President Celeste Schenk announced that due to ongoing noise complaints by neighbors of Bosquet, the Grand Salon will be closed to events that go beyond 7 p.m. Scheduled events will be temporarily held in the Combs building until administration can agree on a solution.
The AUP Arts Arena presents Culture as Diplomacy with the first Secretary of Cultural Affairs, Rafiq Mansour. At the U.S. Embassy in Paris, he will draw upon his own experiences to address the question and role of culture in diplomacy. Due to the closure of the Grand Salon, the event will be held Thursday, February 17th at 7 p.m. in the Combs building.
Also, the Financial Aid Office would like to remind students that as they transition to a new online software system, the staff will have limited availability and ask students that if they have any questions about tuition or financial aid, to wait until the week of February 28th.
There are many students who rely on financial aid to help with university expenses. The SGA offers a special type of aid known as the coup de pouce. Its aim is to help students interested in the study trips offered by the Cultural Programs Office. But do students at AUP consider the coup de pouce an award or a right? Our own Sarah Koslow has the story.
One of the advantages for students at AUP is the possibility to use Paris as a base for travel to exotic destinations near and far. The Cultural Programs Office offers students reduced prices by organizing everything from day trips to the countryside in Champagne to adventures in Brazil.
For those students who may not have the resources to travel to such an exotic location, I think that the fact that the school is setting this up for them is a good opportunity for them to do this.
In order to make the trips more affordable for students, the president of AUP and SGA contribute money to go toward coup de pouce, which is granted each semester to individual students based on their performance at AUP and financial need. Although AUP offers many cultural programs, not everyone has €2,300 to spend on a trip to Brazil. This is where the controversy may arise, and some students feel a sense of entitlement.
Coup de pouce should be looked upon as a gift, and people should be grateful for it, and if they think they didn't get enough money, well, they can be upset about it, but I don't think that they should act as though they deserved more.
However, students that we spoke with that received coup de pouce money last semester said that they expected to receive more. Larson says that it is a common misunderstanding that circulates among the student body, faculty, and others involved.
When we went from the process of people asking for a specific amount of money to the process of 80% maximum of the trip cost, we changed the application a little bit, and we changed the way that we asked people for the essay. We changed a lot of the language, actually.
Despite any confusion or miscommunication about the nature of coup de pouce, it is still available at the beginning of each semester for students who wish to apply. Sarah Kostlow, AUP7 News.
Interesting story. Thanks, Sarah. Convergence, the global communications journal at AUP, is looking for your submissions. The theme is change. What does it mean and how does it affect us? Topics to consider include sustainability, globalization, fashion, and film. Students are encouraged to submit their entries by March 15th.
In AUP sports news, both the men's volleyball and basketball team won their games last week. The men's volleyball team won 3-0 versus EIVP Sports, and the men's basketball team won 51-40 against La Sorbonne. Both teams are moving forward to accomplish the goals set out at AUP Sports Night. The women's volleyball team will try to continue their success in their next game on March the 3rd.
That's all for this week's edition of AUP7 News. Thank you for joining us.
Enjoy your spring break, and we'll see you in 7.